Owner of a Sergeant Bluff, Iowa construction firm. He was sentenced to 2 years in federal prison for his role in tax evasion offenses. Now, according to court documents, we're talking about 62-year-old Kevin Alexander. He's from Sioux City. He owned K&L Construction Incorporated, which was a landscaping and construction company. Documents state he evaded payment of his company's employment taxes, personal income taxes, as well as employment taxes. Alexander was sentenced to 24 months in prison with a 2-year supervised release. He will also have to pay nearly $1.7 million in restitution.